welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at G.I. Joe Mission Critical. This is from Renegade Game Studios. And this is essentially a reskinning of their Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid game, which is a kind of a skirmish battler, boss battler, where you're playing some cards. There's a lot of dice chucking involved, and I felt like the system worked. It was fun to play, and my boys were really into it, but when they announced a G.I. Joe version of the game, nostalgia kicked in, and I was like, I must have this. And ironically enough, without me pushing it, my boys have recently found some of my old G.I. Joes. We've gone, and we've been repairing them a lot lately, so they are actually really excited for this too. So we've got G.I. Joe Mission Critical here, the base game. We've got the Heavy Fire Power expansion, which brings in Destro. We've got the retro Snake Eyes figurine. We've got a vehicle pack, and we've got some red, white, and blue dice. So we're going to be taking a look at all of these. I mean, you've pretty much seen the dice at this point, but we will certainly bust into the additional expansions. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what's in the box. So if you are familiar with Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, this setup should look very familiar. Let's see here. It just says they have, how many locations does this come with? 5 location boards, but I'm thinking that includes the circle in the middle. I'm hoping that they're double-sided like Power Rangers ones are, I believe. It's been a while since I've played the game. It's over in my closet. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that the expansion did not come with any locations. So, but we should have, we've got Duke here, Cobra Commander, Major Blood to play against. Obviously, just the standard Joes. This looks like either Scarlet or, yeah, probably Scarlet or no, Lady J. I can't tell if there's long hair or short hair there. Anyways, yeah, I'm just excited for pure nostalgia purposes here. It does say 2 to 5 players on the box, but it's a cooperative game, so you don't need, you can play solo. You just need to play two-handed. All right. Okay, so we've got a quick start guide. That's nice. Probably all we would need to get going with the game, since I'm familiar with the system. I think the system is pretty much the same. Here's a nod to Heroes of the Grid game, so if you're more into the Power Rangers theme. The deck building game I really appreciate. I think it's a great game. Haven't gotten into some of the other ones yet. Alright, rule book. Let's see what they did with the rule book here. Alright, this is pretty straightforward. I think they made the Power Rangers rulebook a little bit more convoluted than it needed to be, but there's the rulebook. Alright, so here's a lot of damage markers, upgrade markers, status tokens, things like that, but let's see, we got Cobra Temple on this side. Okay, so I was wrong. And Cobra Temple on this side with simply just some status effects that makes it more difficult. So take it with what you will. Personally, I'd rather have a completely different location, but I guess that means they have to produce more cards, things like that. So we've got our Jungle Lab. This is the middle of the locations. So we'll see if that counts as one of the 5. Some energy tokens, Cobra tokens, vehicle tokens. All right, so now we've seen 4 spots: Space Station, New York City, Jungle Lab. What was that first one called? Oh, Cobra Temple. So let's see what. No, it is just 4 spots and a centerpiece. So we've got our board here. G.I. Joe Mission Critical on the back side. These are already kind of warping pretty bad. To figure out how to flatten those out. These boards are huge, unnecessarily huge. This is looking like it's going to be a massive table hog here. All right. So here we have some miniatures. These are just basically the Cobra Troopers. There's going to be a lot of these on the board. They're going to be coming and going. You'll be easily knocking them out. And the blue ones, I believe, are upgraded over the red ones. Harder to get rid of. Harder cards, things like that. Let's see here. Am I pulling the whole thing out? Oh, you're too. Okay. So you can pull this whole tray out and keep the lid on. And then we have our characters here. So these look like nice big chunky figures, which is nice. So yeah, let's take a closer look at these guys here now. Okay, so we've got some cards here we'll take a look at, and we've got our kind of player boards. We have our dice. These are what come with the base game, or you can upgrade to red, white, and blue if you want to be super thematic. But these are pretty much identical to the dice that are in the Power Rangers game, except for the color. But they're okay. They're a little chunky in my opinion, simply because I have a couple dice towers. So these don't really fit down very well, and they take up an unnecessary amount of room. But it is what it is. All right, so let's take a look at these. I already have a little bit of a gripe here. So here we have, your player card if you're Duke. So you would put this down. See, that's cool. You would put this down, and you would get this ability here. Once per battle, a hero of your choice may reroll any number of dice during attack. And then you're going to have a specific set of Duke cards that we'll see here in a second. But what I am not a fan of is that it appears to almost be somebody different drawing all the artwork. These guys look close, but I still see a difference. But these two guys right here, they don't look anything like each other, but that's both Duke, And when did Duke like style his hair and have a scar? I don't remember that ever happened. He certainly never styled his hair. Anyways, let's take a look at these here. So we've got Scarlet. Again, that's okay. I really would have appreciated the standard 80s comic book look. Here is Snake Eyes, classified his true name. CoverGirl. Yeah, like this is the CoverGirl. So this is the shot, or almost the exact same image from G.I. Joe the deck building game. And then here's CoverGirl on the cover. Now, granted, I prefer this, the artwork on the card. I just wish there's some uniformity across everything. Stalker, and then we've got so in the Power Ranger game, you would earn your Zords, the big vehicles that you would travel around in. Here, I'm assuming you're gonna gain these vehicles, or attack cannon, and they would give you special, or like this. This does not even come close to fitting. Where's CoverGirl? Let's find her again. That really bugs me. Like, who is this? What did G.I. Joe never looked like that? Or this. I mean, these two drawings aren't even close. Just why did they not have the same artist working on it? All right, Ram. This is, again, they pulled this from, and this one, they pulled this one from G.I. Joe, the deck building game. I don't think Wolverine's in that game yet, but it might be. Probably will be soon. So you can tell they're definitely milking the IP. But there's still people out there like me who are willing to purchase anything that says G.I. Joe on it. I wonder if they're going to do more Transformers stuff. Alright, so I'm not going to go through every single card in the deck here, but we'll just look at Dukes here, for example. So you can see it's labeled down here, which is nice. So you'll know, and there's Scarlet's cards. Alright, so you're going to have a certain amount that you have to spend on these cards every turn. And it's going to give you, say, 2 dice to roll, and then you'll gain a power back if you play charge. So for free, you get to roll 2 dice, and you gain a power. There's also, when you're on defense, you're going to flip over a certain number of these cards, and you can see the shields will rack up your defense. So here he's got, for 1 cost, you get to roll 3 dice, and then you may re-roll any number of dice during this attack. Roll out, use vehicles at -1 cost this turn. So obviously, there's a cost to using them. Another hero may immediately play a card. Discipline reaction. Play this card when any hero performs an attack. That hero may reroll any number of dice. So it's free. And Real American Hero. So this is like his big card. It's also his, defensive booster, big defensive one. So he's rolling 5 dice. The next time any hero performs an attack during this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. But it costs 3. And then there's this one where, depending on what you spend, it's going to do that much of direct damage. So everybody's kind of got these same type of cards. Everybody's going to have a card that's rolling a bunch of dice and has, really good, but also costs a lot. Everybody's going to have a reaction card. Probably everyone has one that works with the vehicles and things like that. So that is the hero cards here. I just want to see what... where's Snake Eyes? Okay, so then here you have these cards that, as they come up here on the back, you would flip them over, and I got to bring Copperhead out, and Dr. Mindbender, Major Blood, the Baroness, and Cobra Commander. All right, and then there's these guys here, which... So you got your Foot Soldiers, your Crimson Guard, and your Cobra Troopers. Okay, I don't know why there's a boot symbol down here, but let's just look at these between the 2 sets here. Cobra Troopers, Copperhead. Okay, yeah. We're just going to start here and just look at the difference. So you'll have these cards, you'll shuffle them up, and say there's 3 Cobra Troopers added to a site, you would take 3 cards, and then you'd flip them over. These obviously are all the same because I didn't shuffle them, but just as an example, you would need to... What you're attacking is actually the cards. You're not attacking the figurines or any particular person. So you would attack this card, hopefully taking it out before it activates, and they activate in a line. If not, it's going to activate, and you're going to drain 1 energy, discard 1 vehicle from the power board. things like that. And it's fast. So that means once it's drawn, it gets placed at the beginning. Let's just see what a different one would look like. Guard, deal 2 damage to half the heroes in this battle, rounded up. Here is Cobra. Yeah, all of this artwork is all in G.I. Joe, the deck building game. Deal 1 damage, increases damage by 1. So all of these have, the various, I don't know what the difference is between those two healths, but you're actually attacking the card. And every time you take out a card, you're going to remove a figurine from the board. And so these guys are all, elite, harder to deal with. Deal 3 damage, skip the next hero turn. This battle, that's nasty. And the same thing works for the more boss type people. So let's just take Copperhead for an example here. Copperhead says, all right, maybe you get this one out there and this one out there, and it says, it's going to tell you, all right, Copperhead, give me 3 cards in a row. And so then it would give you these 3 cards, and they will activate in order. Now, if you can stay ahead of him and be dealing this much damage out in front of him, then he doesn't actually get to activate. So say you actually take this one out, this one will go to activate, but it's face down already. And then you get your turn, somebody else activates, but more than likely he's going to go through and go bam, bam, bam on you, or one of them, maybe you flip this one over. Well, that's 1 health down, and you got to wait until the whole another turn before you can try and hit him again. You basically put this in a pile over here. There's 1 health against him. You shuffle all his cards up again. You flip them back over. So that's like how the system works in a very quick nutshell here. Okay, so here's how the cards get placed out. So you can see here that okay, interesting. What they have done, instead of in the Power Ranger game, they had the locations printed on the back of these cards, which is why they would have had to print more cards. But now they have a token, it looks like. Put the token on the military compound. Obviously the Cobra base, Cobra Temple would get the secret base. But basically you're going to shuffle these up, and then as you're activating cards, you're going to flip this one over and say, all right, in whichever location is the military compound, I'm going to put 3... are these the elite ones? Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be some more in here. Okay, yeah. This is probably the elite ones. Here's the basic ones. So yeah, that's how deployment works. Anyways, that is the base game. Let's take a look at some of this expansion content. So here we have our Heavy Firepower expansion. This is mainly just adding more characters. Again, knowing now how they have established the various deployment cards, it's a little disappointing that they didn't throw in a location or 2 here, but we're getting 2 Cobra figures, one of them being Destro, and then 3 hero figures. So Bomb Strike, Gun Ho, and Roadblock. Roadblock's and Gung Ho, both of them are fan favorites. 3 vehicle cards. 10 each for them. Combat cards, they get, it's probably 8, and deployment cards. So there you go. There's not even, it doesn't even appear to be any rules changes. Scrap Iron is a new lieutenant that can be added to the mix of lieutenants. Yeah. So basically just mix this in. They just gave you a whole bunch of new stuff. So let's take a look at these. And here are your 3 vehicle cards. You got the Falcon Glider, the Dragonfly Assault Copter, and the Shark. Submersible Reconnaissance Vessel. Now what I really appreciate about the G.I. Joe deck building game is that each of these vehicles can not only carry a certain number of cards, Joes, into each mission, but some of them have will give you certain benefits if it matches the mission type. So if it's an underwater mission and you take the shark, you're going to get bonus points as opposed to taking the glider, the falcon here, which wouldn't make any sense. But we'll see if they do that for this one. All right, and then we got Roadblock here. Again, he's a classic fan favorite here. Heavy weapons. Once per battle, when an enemy card is defeated, you may spend 1 energy to deal excess damage from that card to an adjacent enemy card. Okay. Gung Ho, the Shirtless Wonder. All right, now see, this does not look like Gung Ho. I realize he's wearing the like vest here, but no, that's not Gung Ho. I mean, that's Roadblock. I'll take that. I'm a little disappointed in this. Jungle Specialist. Once per battle, when you reveal a star ability for defense, you may resolve that ability in additional time. And then Bomb Strike. Wow, we are digging deep here. Forward air. So, was there Lady J? Did I miss Lady J? CoverGirl? Scarlet? Yeah, where is Lady J? How do they put Bomb Strike in before Lady J? I'm baffled. Okay. So, that's that for the expansion. And then here are the last 2 things for this all-in pack. We have our Snake Eyes Retro 40th Anniversary Edition. So let me just harken back here to the here is the first Snake Eyes. Now this is the Retro 40th Anniversary Edition, so he doesn't look nearly as cool in my opinion. This is a much more badass sculpt with the sword than Snake Eyes with a gun. I don't know whether I will open this up or not. I probably will. I mean, who are we kidding? Anyways, let's see what his thing is. Legendary Commando. Once per battle, when any hero rolls 2 or more blank results during an attack, you may deal 3 damage to an enemy card of your choice. Now that's pretty good. That is a pretty good ability right there. So there's our dual. I guess we could do dual Snake Eyes in a battle. All right, and then our vehicle pack. I do really like this. Again, I don't think G.I. Joe, there was like collecting cards for G.I. Joe. Maybe there was, but again, this just harkens back to 80s nostalgia. Getting you a pack of baseball cards, trying to just make sure these don't tear. Yeah, nothing else in here. So this is nothing but vehicle cards, which is nice. Nice touch. Yeah, a lot of this though is, again, I have seen all of this artwork already, but that's fine. I mean, it's all their artwork. They're not stealing it or anything. Oh, Striker, the Slugger, self-propelled cannon. Place any number of hits on an enemy card until they have hits equal to 1 less than that total. But for 5. Alright, so that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for our G.I. Joe Mission Critical All-In Kickstarter. We will be featuring this more on the channel here in the future, so if you enjoyed this coverage, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified when more G.I. Joe content hits the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.